This is Movie Night with the Boys.
Hi, welcome to Movie Night with the Boys. I'm Zach,
And I am John.
and we're a weekly podcast where we talk about movies, TV shows, and we play video games. And today we are covering The Boys, episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, John isn't very familiar with The Boys. I gave him, a quick little rundown on the generalization of the characters and the story. But so I'm just going to be quickly running through episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then the Boys series will end up joining with Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel for a combined, three episodes of the show, like three different episodes of the show into one episode for us that we will try and put together for Monday. So, with that being said, The Boys.
Way, Zachary.
The Boys, season 3. So, the show starts off 1 year after Stormfront's public controversy. Butcher and most of the boys work as contractors for Newman's Bureau of Superhero Affairs to apprehend problematic soups, with Huey as their liaison. Edgar offers Annie, who is Starlight, now publicly dating Huey, co-captaincy of the Seven to rebuild Vought's reputation from the nonsense of last season with the Nazis, right? To Homelander's dismay. Edgar also attempts to sell V24, a new compound V variant that temporarily enhances that offers temporary enhancements, right? So you get superpowers for 24 hours, to the US Secretary of Defense, Robert Singer, to no avail. Maeve secretly meets with Butcher, asks him to look up Payback, a group of superheroes whose popularity faded after the Seven showed up, and find out the truth of the death of their leader, who is Soldier Boy. Who in this series, Soldier Boy is essentially as strong as Homelander, right? So so in that regard, they try and figure out how 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 the Russians basically killed Soldier Boy. So they're gonna go and look for that secret weapon. And it was called the BCL Red, said to be capable of killing Homelander. So she also gives him a couple vials of the V24, which he contemplates on using because he like hates supers, right? So it's like, do I really want to do this? I don't know. So while leaving work, Huey spots this guy named Tony who claims to be Secretary Newman's best friend, calling her Nadia. He follows the pair into an alley where Tony urges to tell the truth about Red River, and I'm not sure what Red River is, but she refuses and Tony starts attacking her. And this is where we find out that she's the head popper. She has the ability to fucking explode people, right? So while Tony's attacking her, she explodes his hand and then fucking blows up his head and just fucking blood and guts everywhere. And yeah, that's the end of episode 1.
Good way to end an episode with a pop.
Yeah, yeah.
That is that basically like the pill from Project Power, except it lasts a day.
Kind of. It's like a serum, so they inject themselves.
Oh, but it's the same concept. It gives you powers for a day.
Yes, but these yeah, that's what it does.
Okay.
Yeah. For about 24 hours. They state that quite uh fusely. Right?
About 24, 23 and a half, 24 and a quarter.
Yeah, right. Maybe, maybe 25 hours, who knows, right? It's still in the experimental stage. Yeah. Um
Right.
So episode 2, The Only Man in the Sky. So, while the boys investigate Soldier Boy's death, Huey visits Red River, an orphanage for superpowered children, copies its records. Frenchie and Kimiko confront the Crimson Countess, who is Soldier Boy's like ex, right? At Votland, and she escapes, mistakenly killing a Homelander mascot in the process. So, like I said, she's got kind of like Wanda powers, so she could like shoot red blast and she just explodes a mascot. It's actually pretty funny. So Butcher then confronts Soldier Boy's sidekick at like his name is Gunpowder, right? He's kind of like the Winter Soldier type thing, but not really at the same time. And he's like, "Yeah, fuck you, fuck off," right?
That sounds like something that someone named Gunpowder would say.
Yeah, and then Butcher actually ends up like when Butcher's trying to leave, Gunpowder shows up in the parking garage and starts shooting at him and ends up hitting him in the leg, essentially, right? So Butcher's now shot in the leg, and then Butcher like bounces. So Butcher calls what?
I was gonna say, so you could basically call Gunpowder a loose cannon.
Kind of, yeah. So Butcher calls Huey and agrees to stop the violence, but a delusional Huey informs him about Newman's powers, changing his mind. Butcher takes a dose of V24 and reconfronts Gunpowder, easily beating the shit out of him, right?
Huh.
And he gets so pissed off that he ends up actually killing Gunpowder. Like he ends up getting like so he has super strength and he gets laser eye vision. So he fucking yeah, he just kind of loses control and just fucking cuts Gunpowder's face in half with the heat vision. It's fucking gnarly. I love it. I love it. So, but before he killed him, he learned that Soldier Boy died in Nicaragua while on a mission for the CIA led by Mallory, who was Butcher's handler. Now Mallory is looking after Homelander's kid, essentially, right? So, on the advice of, Mother's Milk's ex-wife, he ends up rejoining the team. And in preparation for his upcoming birthday celebration, Homelander pressures Annie to act differently towards him, but she rebuffs him with Edgar's support. After Stormfront commits suicide hours before his celebration, Homelander kind of melts down on live TV, right? During his like birthday little festivities. And he's ranting, he's saying, "Fuck all you people. Voss trying to control us," you know. And he insists that the world needs him because he's the real hero. And that's where episode 2 ends.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention there's this really, really fucked up scene in the first episode, right? So this is where, like, in the first episode, we see Frenchie, he's at this party, right? And we see there's this superhero who can, like, shrink down, right? So this little shrink down dude, and he's just sitting there, like, fucking this, like, Barbie doll while like everybody's like watching and cheering. Like it's fucked up. Like everybody's doing drugs and shit. So he gets big again, right? And then he goes off to the room with this other guy, and I guess it's his boyfriend or whatever. And they're like making out, and then the guy's like, "I want you inside of me," right? So you hear that, you think you know what's about to happen, right? Right?
I would hazard to guess that what actually happens is that what everyone wanted Ant-Man to do to Thanos.
No, no, no. So his boyfriend's like, "I want you inside of me." So the little guy shrinks down, and the other guy puts his dick on the table, and Buddy fucking climbs in his
Oh,
urethra.
No.
Yes, and
No.
it is fucked up, right? But before he did that, he was doing lines of coke, right? So he's doing these lines of coke, shrinks down, jumps in the guy's dick. Then he fucking sneezes and fucking explodes the guy, like his boyfriend, murdering the guy. And Frenchie walks in and sees this fucking like exploded human body and the little dude covered in blood. Yeah.
Oh
That is
no.
legitimately how the show starts.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's pretty fucked up. It is pretty
That's
fucked up.
wild.
Yeah, and you know how they catch him, right? Because he's like Ant-Man, so he's like running around, he's beating up Frenchie, and right before so right before he's about to go and like kill Frenchie, he's like running and he jumps and Butcher comes out of nowhere and catches him in the bag of cocaine and shakes him up inside the bag of cocaine. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so that's episode 1 and 2. All right, so The Boys, episode 3, Barnaby Coast. I don't know why they name them these names. It's weird. But following Homelander's rant, his approval rating among rural white men skyrockets, leading to Vought's executives to take more passive attitude towards his actions, much to Homelander's delight. Amidst pressure from Homelander during the TV show American Hero, Annie's childhood friend and ex-boyfriend Alex, aka Supersonic, joins the Seven while the Deep is reinstated. So there was this reality show, basically like who wants to be the next superhero, America's superhero. And before all this shit went down, like Annie was gonna pick who she wanted to pick. Like Starlight was gonna pick this like Arabic superhero. She was had the best like record, and Homelander came in and he's like, yeah, no, we're going with this guy. There's nothing you can fucking do about it, right?
What a douche.
Yeah, he is a total douche. But slowly throughout the series, he was losing his mind, and that's why he snapped, right? And then yeah, and so remember I was saying like the DP got kicked out. So at this point, Homelander brought him back in to fuck with Starlight even more because of what he did to her, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Homelander then announces he and Annie are in love. So we pick up with the boys, and they're off to go see Mallory, their CIA contact, to try and figure out what happened to Soldier Boy, right? Apparently, while they were on a mission in Colombia, they were ambushed, right? One of the members of Payback, they got killed, and then the rest of the team got all fucked up. And Black Noir is also on the team, and I think he also did, like, he might have died as well, right? So the whole team is just pissed right off, right? And Soldier Boy reportedly being killed by a Russian superweapon. And the Russians apparently took Soldier Boy's body. So,
Huh.
enraged that Mallory didn't reveal the superweapon's existence to him earlier, and still suffering from the side effects of taking the V-24, Butcher storms out, blames Ryan for Becca's death. Ryan is his wife's kid, and they were kind of like bonding. I guess I forgot to mention this earlier. They were kind of like bonding, right? She told him to look out for him, and he was like, yeah, okay. So he was thing, and then all of a sudden now he just kind of 180'd, and he's like, fuck you, kid. You're the reason why my wife died, right?
Seems a little psychopathic.
Yeah, he kind of lost his shit. So then Butcher actually ends up forcing Frenchie to contact his old Russian boss, Little Nina, to arrange transport so they can head to Russia to go find this super weapon. And that's the end of episode 3.
Russia. Again.
Yeah, which is kind of, I'm surprised they didn't change it to some random other Eastern European country instead of actually using
Well,
Russians. But they are just fucking them Russians up, so.
I mean, Stranger Things is using Russians now.
Yeah, but they were using the Russians before all this shit went down.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
but yeah. So, episode 4, Glorious 5-year plan. So, Butcher meets up with Nemenko and he negotiates to have the boys taken to Russia in exchange by killing an assigned target. Oh, and this shit is fucking wild. Let me wait till I get into describing you when this happens. So, Butcher ends up tasking Kimiko to go in and, pretend to be like a prostitute, get close to, the target and kill him, right?
Yeah.
So the Russian guy is just he has like a whole bunch of women there, and he brings Kimiko over to this like thing, and it's fucking dildos of this and they're like each of the dildos are like versions of the seven. So there's like a Homelander strap on, a Starlight dildo, a Black Noir dildo, a Maeve dildo, all kinds of dildos, right? So then he grabs a dildo and he's about to do something to one of the girls, and Kimiko grabs the Black Noir dildo and fucking shoves it through the back of his head out of his mouth. Yeah, right? So that's how she kills him. And she pulls the fucking thing out, and you see a big hole in his fucking mouth where the dildo was, bro. It's fucked up.
That's hilarious.
So, right? So Kimiko gets the kill off. Then she goes, and the bodyguards come in, and she just starts beating the fuck out of the bodyguards and killing them with the dildos. It's fucking great. It's fucking great, right?
Sounds like a wild episode to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So she killed him. She got the proof. So now they're gonna go and infiltrate this base to get the information that they wanted. So Huey ends up catching Butcher. Well, Butcher pukes in Huey's face, and then Butcher tells him about the V-24, and then when they get into Russia, Huey finds him using it again, and he's like, "Yo, give me some. Like, I'm tired of feeling useless." Right? So Butcher says no. Huey ends up stealing it somehow and injecting himself regardless. I don't know how he did it, but he did. And so so then the boys end up infiltrating the lab, and they're overwhelmed by Russian soldiers, and then Butcher trying not the superpower is supposed to be a last resort thing, and they really had no other option. So Butcher, calls out to everybody, like the enemy, and he's like, "Over here, motherfuckers!" And they all start shooting at him, and the bullets are just bouncing off. He's like fucking dudes up. He's laser eyeing, and everybody's like, "What the fuck?" And then this one soldier is about to kill Mother's Milk or Frenchie, somebody. He was about to kill somebody. Huey goes, "No!" And you see Huey teleport and punch his fucking hand right through this Russian fucking soldier. And he pulls it out, and Huey is loving life, bro. Like, he's like, "Oh my God, that was amazing." Right?
I'm Raiden.
Yeah, right? So, with all the Russian soldiers out, there's this fucking tank thing, like a you know what I mean? Like a where you would store somebody in like cryostasis type of thing, right? Like a chamber like that.
Yeah. Um, a
Stasis pod.
cryogenic chamber.
Yeah, right? So Butcher opens the chamber, and inside the chamber is a fucking soldier boy with long hair and a big fucking beard, right? So Soldier Boy is apparently live. So Soldier Boy wakes up, he pulls all the shit out of his arms and whatever, and he ends up getting this fucking Havoc style chest blast, and he blasts Kimiko, right? Well, he was about to blast Frenchie, and then Kimiko kind of pushed him out of the way, right? And this ends up taking Kimiko's powers, and so she can't heal. So she's now severely wounded with rebarb sticking out of her guts and shit. So she got fucked up. So she's possibly could die, right? So the boys end up retreating to stabilize her while Soldier Boy just kind of escapes. We don't know where the hell he went. right? But remember, they're in Russia. So Newman holds a press conference to address Homelander's situation, right? And before this, we see Edgar, who is what we find out is Newman's stepfather. Essentially, he adopted her right after he learned that she can pop heads and stuff, right? So he tells so he basically is telling her, yeah, you go. And she's like, but what about my daughter? And he's like, don't worry, Homelander's scared of me, right? So yes, do this. We'll bring his approval rating down so we can get rid of him. So she has this press conference and she ends up betraying Edgar by publicly accusing him of committing crimes, embezzling, doing all kinds of like crimes against humanity type of thing. In return, Homelander provided Newman with a dosage of Compound V, which is the drug that gives them their superpowers, and she injects it into her daughter so her daughter could get superpowers. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. So
Some shit.
Annie ends up recruiting Maeve and Alex, Supersonic, to try and join her little like rebellion against Homelander. And Alex, Supersonic, he tries to get A-Train because like Homelander's been treating A-Train like shit this entire series. He's like, "You fat fuck." Like he keeps calling him fat and like you're useless. Like you're garbage now since that whole like heart thing with him, right? And so he tries to recruit A-Train to the thing, to their little like rebellion. Um, so then there's this like little conference thing. Homelander's like, "Oh, hey, Starlight, let's go flying. You want to fly, right?" And so he picks her up, flies her up to this roof, and he's like, "I got something to show you that you have to see." And then he's like, "Yeah, look, it's right over there." And we turn and we see it's Alex, and he is beaten to a complete pulp. Like he is dead. Yeah, like Homelander fucked him up. So basically, A Train fucking snitched and told him what was going on. So Homelander killed Supersonic. So Supersonic is now dead. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the Deep, because Homelander's the one who brought him back, he is straight up licking Homelander's ass. Like he is Homelander's little bitch, right? So yeah, so then after threatening Huey, Homelander threatens Huey saying like if you don't do what I say, this is what's going to happen to Huey. She tearfully submits to him, and that's the end of the episode. So that's episode 4. And now we are all caught up.
Bananas. Shit's bananas.
Yep. Yep. So, I know you're not that familiar with it, but what do you think?
Definitely piqued my curiosity. I'm obviously not going to be able to catch up from episode 1 to follow along here on these episodes with the podcast, but I certainly am going to catch up so when we reach season 4, I should be right and ready. Because season 4 just got announced like just a couple days ago.
Yeah, they got greenlit for season 4.
Yeah, and there's an animated show too, right?
It's a series of shorts, just
Ah,
like the Star Wars one, Star Wars Visions. It's
okay.
called The Boys Diabolical.
Is it relevant?
You get a short of like Homelander, kind of like when they first introduced him.
All right. So it's not story relevant, but it could
No,
be
it's just
enjoyable.
like little shorts that take place in the same universe.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yep. So yeah, overall I've enjoyed these episodes so far. Like they're so over the top, like it's fucking great, right? Oh, and I also forgot to mention in episode 1, the show starts off and it's like they're doing a movie trailer. And because Stormfront's like, dead, you know who they used as to play Stormfront in their movie?
Cool.
My girl that I'm forgetting her fucking name right now. The one from the old guard, the ended.
Charlize?
Yeah, Charlize Theron. They used her at the beginning as a replacement for Stormfront, and like so it's all of them, and they're about to go and fight like Charlize. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, overall, I'm enjoying this series so far.
It sounds like it's got a good cast. It sounds like it's got a good story. I love the over the top shit. I mean, I just finished watching Invincible, which is another Amazon show, and that was a pretty wild animated show.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. We'll be covering season 2 for sure.
Oh yeah, I can't. I love the over the top shit. I'll say it again. I love the over the top shit. That's what content should be for the majority of people, because that other normal everyday shit is just kind of getting boring.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this sounds like it's gonna definitely hold my interest from the get go. And I remember, like you said, obviously the story opens up with A Train running through a person and just basically disintegrating her. I've seen that online, so I definitely have some shit to catch up on.
Yeah, for sure.
Who would you say is your favorite character?
It's got to be Billy Butcher, man. Like this season, he's kind of more of a prick, but like I don't know, man. I love him. I like he's just this British asshole, right? So definitely Billy Butcher. Yeah,
All right. Well, then what about the converse? Who is your least favorite?
probably the Deep. I fucking can't stand the Deep. The Deep is just straight, just licking Homelander's asshole. His girlfriend or his wife, right? Like yeah, do what Homelander says. Like she's like texting him, like, don't be a pussy. Like it's like, oh my god, like the Deep, you're a fucking bitch, right? So this is the other thing. When the Deep was first, like when Homelander was bringing him in, they had this like special like dinner. So it was like the Deep's wife, and Homelander, right? And Homelander's like, oh, I got you something special, and in the Deep's room there was an aquarium and there was an octopus in the aquarium. So you know what Homelander did? He took that fucking octopus, put it on a plate, and told the Deep to eat it.
Wow.
And what do you think happened?
He ate
He
it.
fucking ate it, and it was disgusting. Like, and he's like, and like he can hear like sea life, right? So he can, and he's like, he's praying, and he's like eating him, and he's like he's begging for his life, and he's like, ah, it eats the fucking whole thing, bro. It is so gross. So my least favorite character is the Deep. Plus what he did to Starlight and everything is just gross. So the Deep is definitely my least favorite character.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little bit of a break from form first because I'm curious of your thoughts. I'm gonna ask you your overall rating for season one and season two, and then I'll get your rating for where it is so far. Because I'm curious of what you thought about season one and season two as well.
Okay, so season 1 I'd probably give an 8, right?
All
It's the
right.
beginning, you know what I mean? They were still trying to work things out, but eh, the whole series is just fucking amazing. I love it. I love it. So, season 2, I'd probably give an 8.5. And then so far, I would give the rest of this stuff right now like a 9. Like, it's just getting better and better and better as it goes on. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That gives me hope.
Hmm.
Well, it doesn't sound like you have much in the way of dislikes, do you?
No. I mean, sometimes the story drags a little bit, and like I didn't really care too much about like the butcher and the kid like background stories, right? Like I don't really care about that. But I mean, yeah, overall like the whole thing is great. So, you got to take some shit with the goodness, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of a given in any kid situation. Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
Well then, I think that brings us to current for the boys.
All right, all caught up. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to be now like I mentioned earlier or maybe in the last podcast, we are going to be doing one episode on the Mondays of 3 different shows, right? So we're going to have the new episode of Obi-Wan. We're going to do the first 2 episodes of Miss Marvel, and then this episode 5 of The Boys. All right? So that'll be our next episode next week, Monday, and then we'll be caught up and we'll just be doing the 1 episode of Obi, 1 episode of Miss Marvel, and 1 episode of The Boys from here on out until new shows come out. But that'll be our TV shows reviews. We'll do them on for the Mondays. So we have TV shows on Monday, movies on Thursday, and video games spread throughout the week.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And we should also say that Obi-Wan's a very short series, so after that, we'll find something new to supplement.
Yeah, I mean, there's no lack in content, so we can fill in the TV shows with everything else. Plus, we still got to do Stranger Things, so there's always that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So, I think with that all out of the way, we should just really quickly say look forward to our coverage of Jurassic World Dominion on Thursday.
Yep. Jurassic World Dominion. I mean, I enjoyed it, so we'll get John's take on that, and yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, it's been real.
It has been real, Zach.
Deuces.
Thank you all so much for listening to Movie Night with the Boys.